Alright, welcome back to the final steps. This is what I'll be working with for the final steps. My sand and mud powders, the silver, the black, all with their own little applicators, of course. And I made a mix of the black with the silver. And as you can tell, it doesn't mix very well, but that's the effect I'm going for. And if you want to do that yourself, it's important to remember that you need very, very little black. It has a tendency to overpower anything very fast. So as soon as I start mixing this, you'll see it become very dark, even though there's a lot more silver in there than black. Why am I doing this? And I'm not going to mix it up entirely. I tried to find a still that shows this. Let's see if we can't see that. And as you can see, like here versus here, usually metal scraping and battle damage shouldn't have all the same color, which is one of the bonuses from doing the paint chipping and then going over it with the airbrush, like I discussed in the previous video, which I usually wouldn't do. But now it gives me the chance, when I do the final touches, to get different shades of gray. And no, I'm not trying to refer to any crappy movie. So yeah, let's just get started on it. And let me talk you through some parting thoughts and ideas when it comes to this sort of work. First off, because of my day job, I'm forced to do this in phases, and that's a good thing, because in my experience with anything creative, it's helped me to have to walk away from it and come back with a fresh eye, because it allows me to see things that I just wouldn't see after a while anymore. So it's a good thing to get into that practice yourself. If you're doing anything, after a while you just, I don't know, maybe you just get tired, or you just start staring at one thing or another too long. Just backing off and coming back later, the fresh perspective is very important. Now, as you can see, I only go back towards the edges, which gives me a nice smooth flow from the black to the dark kind of silver to the brighter silver that I'm now applying again, which only adds to the depth and the realism of the look, which is what we're going for, of course. A little goes a long way, so put it on your very small applicator, then take most of it off with your any tissue you have available at any time. And it's not a problem to screw up anything, because a lot of screw ups can be fixed. Like I said, I do a lot of shaping afterwards, after applying the paint, and using stuff like, in my case, I like the steel wool, but using that sort of stuff to also shape or fix mistakes. And the name of the game here is layers. So many layers, maybe working back some. It's not even a bad idea to just go at it and erase some of your work with I don't know, some reducer or thinner or whatever. Just make sure you use the non-aggressive thinners, like the most TAMIYA or VALLEJO or whatever, what have you. I sound like a VALLEJO fanboy in all these videos. No, I'm not getting paid. No, I don't have any stock in the company. I just like the work of the stuff. But just make sure to use the non-aggressive thinners. That's very important. They won't affect the plastics, so that's a good thing. But when you're doing the airbrushing, it is sometimes impossible not to hit certain spots that you don't want hit, and then it's a good idea to have that same reducer or thinner available to correct any spots that you don't want exposed. And again, just all these little steps, all these little layers, all these little things, all ultimately really add to the look and the realism, because it's just so much detail and so much things going on that it's going to look believable, you know. Alright, so one of the questions I've been getting is there another way to do battle damage except the Dremel? Yeah, there's another way to use the soldering iron. If you look at one of the movie stills from the movie, you can see in this shoulder there's a nice dent that doesn't go through. So I put on a different tip on the soldering iron. Again, keep the temperature low. It just allows me to slowly mold that dent. And I'm working in a sort of star shape where I want the center to be the same point every time. See, and there's no smoke, so that's what we're looking for here. That works fine. So get in there with the black. Like that. And then get in there with the very dark silver. It's also almost like a titanium. And then I like dry brushing some more black on there, which is a great way to get battle damage done without having to use an airbrush. So heavy brush, put on some black, take most of it off, and just go like that. That looks pretty good. Then go back with some more of the titanium. Go back with some more of the real black, and I use the raised edges again for that. Now normally I would suggest using a different brush for every color, of course, but in this case, when we want to mix it up a little bit, shaping it with that same brush you used for the black is a great idea. Back with some more silver. And it's like that. You see how that works? And then subtle again, just small. Now, we do need a little bit more of the flat black, I think. But I think that looks pretty good and believable. Now, there's a few areas where I feel like I could use a little bit of the weathering powder, and I like to use the mud color because that blends the most with the blacks. So just put that on my finger and blend it with the airbrushing like that. One of the reasons why this works now is because the airbrushing created a bit more of a flat matte surface for the powder to grab a hold of. So that's why I do the powder bit after the airbrushing. Again, subtle, because you want to keep some of that original candy apple red. It almost smooths things out, helps it blend more. A little bit on the shoulders, like that. The bicep area could use some work, like that. That works pretty good. Other bicep area, the one we've messed up with the Dremel. Like that. So do a little bit more of that on the shoulder area as well. Just smooth it out until it looks good to you, you know. And then there comes a time when you decide you're done. So let's have a look. That is the money shot right there.